All right, what's up, man?
Very, very excited to be here, brother.
I'm very excited too. This is episode 2. I had to wear the Back to the Future gear and the
I love
Sledgehammer
it,
horror
man.
hat.
Love it. Looks fucking awesome.
So what I do here is I wanted to start this podcast because I started my channel with YouTube reviews at first and movie reviews. Got kind of really burnt out on that. Also, I'm not very good at that, but I felt like I was faking a lot of it, and I wanted to be more authentic. I wanted to also have more time and room to tell my story, and I also got lonely, so I wanted to hear other stories. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to dive deeper into you, let the audience know more about you than what they might know about you on your own channel, and I want to find out who influenced you, where it all started to where you're at now, and diving into it immediately with who are your biggest influences in your personal life. You can get as deep as you'd want to go, but whether you're talking about a father, mother, brother, co-worker,
Yeah.
whoever, who is the biggest influence on you?
Um, Number one would always be my mom. Always would have been my mom. She was like the perfect mom. So she always taught me like how important it is to be yourself. How important it is to just be loving, be caring. My mom would give the shirt off her back to anybody, and I feel like that's really been one of the things I grew up seeing. So I think that's why I try to be as nice and kind as I can. And now that she's gone, I know that whatever plane of existence she's on now, she's still watching. So I still gotta make her proud, even though she can't be here to tell me. Besides that, my kids are a huge influence on me. Just because a lot of the decisions I make now are, you know, would my kids be proud of me if I did this? Would my kids, be upset if I did this? Just like I always tell them, I want you to make your decisions just like dad was standing next to you. So I try to bring that to me. Would I do or say this if Kenley, Chloe, or Kenny were standing right here with me?
Right.
And then obviously my wife, Ashley's, 21 years. She wishes she could have been here. My best friend, and she not only influences me, but pushes me every day just because she's so damn smart. And I just envy her brain. Like she'll say things or do things, and I'm just like, how are you able to just like that, come up with something so good? So, yeah, I'd say, mom, kids, and wife would be the biggest influences on me.
I love that, dude. I love that. And yeah, I've really, I can't wait for the day that I finally get to sit down with the both of you and talk to you. One
Yeah.
day, I'm sure it'll happen. But yeah, that's a really great answer, and I love that. I love how strong you and your family dynamic is. You show actually a lot more of your family and your marriage than a lot of others do, but you do it in such a vulnerable way that I think people envy you rather than want to attack those. And of course, there is a downside where, that nasty damn situation a month ago or
Yeah.
so. But that is one thing that, yeah, it might have happened, but you also had probably thousands of people come to your end and bat for you, and you're never alone. It
And
sucks.
you're right. That's the best part about building a community like this is the people that really know Ken Sledge, like the people that really know Ashley Sledge. They know that we're not characters on a screen. The people that you see on the screen are the people you will meet in person. And it's a genuine thing with Ashley and I. Like we're both just extremely genuine and real and appreciative of everything. And I think that people see that. They feel it. They know these are nice people that care about people. And I think another part of it is, I've had a lot of, stuff like that happen with people in the community, and I never bring it up. I never slam people. I never bring people down. I don't even talk about it. I talk about it with the people in the comments or whatever have you. But when you bring someone's kids into it, it's impossible to let it go from me.
Yeah,
And especially the way that this person attacked. I'm not even going to glorify this person by giving them a name.
exactly.
But the way they attacked my kids, say essentially for people that don't know the story, they said that I essentially made up the fact that my daughter's gay. And one, why? Like,
Yeah.
why? Why would I do that? And two, that takes away from all the courage that it took my daughter to come out to my wife and I.
Yep.
obviously we're going to be okay. You're my daughter and I love you no matter what. No matter who you love, I love you. But, like that took a lot for her to just finally come out and be like, this is who I am. And you're taking away from that by saying that I would make something like that up. So that's essentially why I had to answer back to that one. Just don't talk about my kids. I
Right.
think that's it.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. You don't bring others into it, especially when they have nothing to do with it. You alone have
Right.
nothing to do with what she was trying to drag into it. And then the fact that she
Right.
brought you in, you were brought in by others, and then that happened. That was very uncalled for.
It
Um,
sucked.
and as bad as a person as she may even come out to be, still as a person, I still wish the best for her. I hope she finds whatever peace
Yep.
she can find to not do stuff like that. Anyway, off the darker subject, what is there a movie or just stick with one thing at a time? Is there a movie that has influenced you the most? Whether not just your favorite, of course, not a Back to the Future or Child's Play 3, but
Yeah.
a movie that has influenced you in one that you watched and you was like, damn, I want to write something after that.
Oh, House.
House.
House. 1985. Yeah, dude. Like, that was my first horror movie. And if you watch the short film Ashley and I made, the very first short film we ever made that we put on YouTube, I can't say the first one we ever made. Me and Ashley have been making short films and films for a very long time. We met in audiovisual production in school. And so, like, we did a lot of, we've made a lot of movies, and, I got a lot of funny stories about making, like, zombie movies back in 2006, 2005, 2006, making zombie movies and filling our mouths with chocolate syrup and biting so the blood would run down, because you're black and white. One where I was beating up a zombie and they had a garden hose, like a mini garden hose. We filled it with chocolate syrup and they were spitting and it was coming up in my face. And
That's crazy.
99.8% of people I would not let do that, but it was my brother. So my brother was just, blowing. It was like a blowgun of chocolate syrup, but it was coming up, so it looked like as I was punching, the
You're
blood
getting
was
that splatter.
spraying. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. And so, like, doing stuff like that, we've been making movies since we were kids. But Home is Where the Haunt Is has some direct references to a lot of horror movies that we love. House being one of them. There is a direct reference to House in that. There's a direct reference to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in that movie. There's a direct reference to The Shining. And we didn't want to do this, obviously. If you see it, you'll be like, okay, I see what he's talking about. The homages we made to movies that we love. And I, not only would I not do Sledgehammer horror, I don't think I would be the man I am today if it wasn't for House.
Wow.
That's how much that movie like turned chemicals in my brain and just made me a completely different human being after watching that movie. So yeah, that I would say that's been the biggest influence. Like you said, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Back to the Future, like those movies obviously huge. Back to the Future is my all-time favorite, and I still use lines from Back to the Future all the time too. Someone doesn't like something I'm doing, I'm like, you just don't get it, but your kids are gonna love it. Like I
Right.
use stuff like that all the time. So yeah, I think media is always an influence on people that are into it. As when they dive into the deep end, I think that does have an influence on who we are as people.
Very cool. Very, very cool. I would have not expected House. Okay, now who is a celebrity, whether that be a musical artist, a big time A-lister, or maybe a celebrity you've met in an encounter, whatever that may be, who is someone that has influenced you in the industry?
Ooh,
Directors and stuff included.
yeah, Matthew Lillard would be a huge one,
Yep.
just because of the kindness that he has.
The acceptance.
Uh, yeah, the whole band, Coheed and Cambria, would be on there. Having met all those guys numerous times, Josh, their drummer, is somebody I actually consider a friend now, and like just learning like the hard work they put into their craft is just incredible. Frankie G, he played Xavier in Saw 2.
Hmm.
Just learning about his background and how the things he came from and the things he's done. Yeah, I think that would be a good starting point. really love like the Coheed would be a big one. Like Josh, Claudio, Travis, they all Zach, huge influence on me, especially when it came to writing music. Just learning how dedicated they were to their craft. Yeah, yeah. So actor wise, it'd be Lillard for sure. Just I've been watching him for a long time, and he just has always been. It seems like everything he's in, I love. So it'd probably be him. He'd probably be the number one for me.
Funny enough, I grew up loving Matthew Lillard, but the thing that, I was born in 2004, but I grew up, like, if you was to ask me what I grew up watching, you'd think I was born in at least the 90s. And the thing that I absolutely love and adore Matthew Lillard for would actually be Without a Paddle.
Without a paddle.
People think of, like, SLC Punk or, you know, the, like, 5 movies he did with Freddie Prinze Jr. or the Scream movie. I immediately, every single time I think of Lillard, I think of Without a Paddle. That is like one of my favorites ever.
I'm guilty of SLC Punk. Like that's the one for me that like because when that came out, like everybody, even Sawa, even though my relationship with him as a human being has soured tremendously, I think that he's a phenomenal actor. I would never take that away from him. But SLC Punk, like I watched it during my formative years where I was, learning about punk rock and learning about, being an outcast and how different I was in the small town that I grew up in. And so like watching like Sawa and Lillard in that movie and, even Jason Segel, like I think he's great in that movie because in that movie he shows that you don't have to wear an outfit to be punk rock. Like
Right.
he's like this nerdy dude with a polo t-shirt, just beats the shit out of people just because he's this big punk dude that but yeah, he was like, I don't need to wear a uniform to be punk rock. And so yeah, like SLC Punk to me is like when it comes to like influence and informative of formative years, for sure SLC Punk.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, one thing that me and Cody talked about, and it was something that I just thought of off the top of my head on the last episode, and I actually had a lot of fun with it, was I asked him what a movie was that anytime he thinks of the title, a fun memory comes to mind. And we kind of went down a little rabbit hole of talking about Freddy versus Jason. That was really fun. So I'm gonna tell one on here that I forgot to tell on the last episode. My dad jumped my ass for, so I'll tell it here. But
Yeah.
what's one of yours?
Okay, and just to take a shot at Cody, it's Freddy's Dead. It's funny because just yesterday at the time of recording, I got to meet Lisa Zane and talk to her a little bit.
Wow.
But the reason this movie has a fond memory for me is because I could have went with two here. I'm only going with Freddy's Dead just to poke at Cody
Right.
because I love him so much. My uncle Dave, who helped to raise me, took me and my cousins to see Freddy's Dead in the theater, and it was in 3D. And not only was it the first time, like I remember going to a horror movie at the theater, I remember the 3D aspects of it. And I remember like we had the 3D. I wish I still had the original ones that I had, but like that's a memory to me that's very special. So when people talk about Freddy's Dead, the first thing that pops up to me is me, Al, Josh, Nick, Caleb, Jack, Mike, Brandon, all of us. Like we had like 3 carloads of kids all going to see Freddy's Dead. And so like that's a memory to me. And as a kid, that was awesome. I get to see the video game sequences, and there's a lot about that movie that I thought was so cool as a kid. You go back and watch it now, and you're like, ugh. But yeah, I'm gonna choose that. I could have went with War of the Worlds because that was Ashley and I's first date in 2005.
Wow.
So I could have went with that one, and that one obviously probably means a lot more to me. But for Cody, I'm gonna go Freddy's Dead.
Hey, I don't like Freddy's Dead, but I actually do have some nostalgia with it. You got the first kill in the opening of the movie, and then the "I'll get you, my pretty." I remember growing
Yeah.
up, and for some reason, my dad. I don't know if my dad actually likes the movie or not. I don't think he does, but he had that one on frequently. Probably just binging through the franchise, but
Sure.
yeah, I don't hate anybody who likes Freddy's Dead ever, and I
No,
don't
no.
hate anybody
Like
who
I said,
hates it either.
it's not. It's just I don't know. It's a fine movie. It's just a really really shitty nightmare movie.
There you go. It's a
It's just it's so goofy and over the top. Like it's not my least favorite in the franchise. I still dislike the Dream Child more than this one. At
Yeah.
least I get some type of entertainment out of Freddy's Dead, no matter how goofy it is. But yeah, it's just quit being a pussy. Like, it's so ridiculous that I can't help but have a soft. And like I said, it could be the worst movie on the planet. But my Uncle Dave is, like you talked about earlier, influences. Like I could have had a huge list, like Uncle Dave, Uncle Bobby, Grandpa Bill. Like these guys helped me become a man.
Right.
So like those guys would also be very, very integral parts of my childhood. And Uncle Dave taking us kids, and I'm as a dad now, I can't imagine. It was Uncle Dave, Uncle Tom, those two. They were brothers, Dave and Tom Salazar. Took all of us to go see Freddy's Dead, and I just can't believe the shit they went through with us boys, man. So yeah, that's why I want to go Freddy's Dead on this one. But now I got to hear yours, man. If Dad tore you up, I got to hear what it is.
All right, so Cody just went live on his Patreon. I had to slide in there and tell them real quick, but so mine was, and I still can't believe I forgot because dude was even wearing an Evil Dead shirt. How did I forget? So Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 3. Me and Devin grew up. Devin, my brother, by the way. Me and him grew up, and we absolutely loved Army of Darkness. My dad had it on constantly, more than any of them. He had that one probably because it was PG-13. And just to kind of keep
It's
something clean
fun,
there.
man.
Like, hey, dude, we just got done watching Friday the 13th. Let's take a break from the tits real quick. You're 7. Let's put on Army of Darkness. And my mom, she hated basically anything he watched, but especially Army of Darkness, and she called it stupid shit. She called most of his movies stupid shit, but that one specifically. And so something about me and Devin was just so attracted to the movie, and we couldn't ever remember a title like Army of Darkness, but we could always remember stupid shit.
Stupid shit.
And so every single day, dude, we just walk in the living room. Hey, Dad, let's watch stupid shit.
Let's watch stupid shit. That's awesome, dude.
It was so funny and silly, and I loved it. Yeah. I was also gonna say I kind of got a hot take with the Nightmare franchise. I think most people's favorite is like either the original or like mine, Dream Warriors. But I I absolutely despise Part 4.
That's my favorite.
I figured. Yeah, it's a lot of people's favorite too. I hate Part 4. I hate it.
Ashley hates it too. So the reason I'm going to say this is because Part 4 is the one I watched the most growing up, so there's that just huge nostalgia. And I probably watched Nightmare 4 than like I watched Halloween 5 or Friday 3, which are the other of those big franchises. Those are the ones I watched the most. So Nightmare 4 was probably the one that was on the most. If I had watched that for the first time as an adult, I probably would hate that movie. You know, because I watch it now and I'm like, this definitely got a lot of flaws. But just because of the nostalgia of watching it so much as a kid, I could still probably quote that movie word for word from front to back. So that's why
an MTV style to that's really captivating. Even to me as a kid, I loved it, especially like the cockroach killing and everything. Like there's a lot with that movie that's awesome, but really it's the narrative side that it's so flawed to me that I can't stand it. To where you not should you ever go into a nightmare movie looking for a narrative, but when you're picking right up from Dream Warriors and you Alien 3 Kincaid.
Yeah.
No, that pissed me off. And as an adult,
he does have like the coolest death though, man. Like when he pushes the car on Freddy, he's like, "Take that, motherfucker!" Like,
yeah,
it's so awesome. But yeah, to kill off Joey and Kincaid so early sucked, man.
Yeah, that is like you Alien 3 in franchise. Yeah, no, that bothered me. And seeing like I used to love Part 4. It was recently, like within the past 3 years, that I've decided, nope, I hate.
Yeah, which and again, our taste changes as we get older, you know. But
who knows?
I think that the nostalgia bait of it is it's too much for me. Like I there's too much nostalgia. I can't let it go.
Yeah, I understand. I don't hate you for it. It's what makes these conversations interesting. It'd be boring if we all had the same taste. So, what is the most influential TV show, or what is your favorite? You ain't gonna give influence for everything, but what is maybe your favorite TV show of all time, if you even watch
Futurama?
Futurama, that's what I figured.
That's
Back to the
Futurama.
Future, Futurama. It's neck and
Yeah.
neck. Okay, what else besides Futurama?
Um, I mean, if we're going TV shows, throughout my life, I'd probably have to say, even though people might not consider it a TV show, it'd probably be like WWE wrestling.
That
Um,
counts. That's
yeah,
TV.
yeah, I mean, I've been a WWE wrestling fan like my whole life, on and off. I'll always watch WrestleMania. I'll always watch Royal Rumble, SummerSlam. Like I'll always be involved on those. Growing up, the TGI Friday stuff, like Fresh
Yeah.
Prince, Boy Meets World, Full House, Home Improvement, like that stuff was really, really big. Um, so if I can't count Futurama, I'm gonna try to
Golden
steer clear of.
Girls.
I'm gonna try to steer clear of animated TV because obviously, I could go Simpsons, Aqua Teen, I could go stuff like that. A live action one, I'm gonna say that '70s show. Just because I don't think there's been a show ever that made me laugh as hard as that '70s show. And I don't think there's ever been a flip in my body of identifying with Eric Foreman to identifying with Red Foreman. Like that flip has happened in me. And so yeah, I love that '70s show. I think that it was just such a well written show that really encapsulated. It made me feel like I wanted to live in the '70s, and so many like genuinely funny moments, but a lot of real heartbreaking moments throughout that show too, like Donna and Eric breaking up.
Yes.
Like there's a lot of real emotion to go with that show too.
The
So
growing up
yeah,
aspect in that show is very realistic. It captures that
yes,
very well.
yes,
I'm a huge that '70s show nut too, to the point to where in my younger years, like 13, 12, 13, I got obsessed with Ashton Kutcher.
oh yeah,
Obsessed. And that is when the show The Ranch came out. And then
hmm
finding out that, oh my God, Kelso and Hyde have another show, and like watching that, and then growing up and, the fall of, what's his
yeah,
name?
Danny
I forget his name.
Masterson,
Yeah, some
fucking
bad
hated him.
stuff. That,
You
that,
know what I mean? Like that sucks, dude. Like
that
it
was
doesn't
heartbreaking.
suck for him. It sucks for his victims. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
when I hate when I say it sucks. People are like, no, it doesn't suck. He did it. I'm like, no, that's not what I mean. It sucks for the people that he made victims. But I agree. Like when you go to that '70s show and you go back and rewatch it now, like even as an adult, like we were just watching it a couple weeks ago, and
It's
there's this scene where they're going hunting and they're driving to the hunting trip, and Kelso has the gun, and he's like, Red, if I see a deer, I'm gonna shoot it out the window. And Red's like, Kelso, if you fire that gun in this car, I will pull over and kick your ass for an hour. And it's just it's so funny. Or Jim Gaffigan did a guest spot, and he's sitting there when they're in the circle, and he's like, so there I was, standing on the Golden Gate Bridge, and everyone's telling me to jump. I was just out for a jog. It's like, and it like played his characters so well. There's so many different episodes of that '70s show that just like thoughts, like or there's an episode where Red walks outside and Eric's out there with his friends and he's like, so this is how an unemployed high school dropout dumbass trims the hedges, and they're like, whoa, it was like 8 burns at once. It was an octo burn. Donna's like, let's get the hell out of here. I'll just leave him there. Like, oh man, like there's just so many
it's an
parts.
October.
Did you ever watch the '90s show?
I watched the first season and didn't like it.
I'm with you, man. But the part where Eric tells his daughter, he's like, either you're gonna get in that car or my foot's gonna get in your ass. And
Yeah,
Red's
I
like, I
love
have
that.
never been more proud. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so like that. But I agree with you. I was not a huge fan of the show, but because I hate when they do stuff like that, Fuller House, stuff like that, because you're trying to capture the nostalgia, but bring it on with new kids. It just doesn't work as well. Of the bunch, I think Girl Meets World probably had the most success to
Hey,
me.
I love Girl Meets World. My
Oh yeah, like
dad,
it was very successful. That's why I can't take Sabrina Carpenter seriously. I mean, again, she's a grown woman. I'm very happy for her career arc, but to me, she'll always be Maya. And I'm like,
right.
Maya, watch your mouth. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly. Hey,
What
put
would
the
Riley
mic
think right
down.
now? Right. But yeah, like I said, she's
Go
a
to the bay
beautiful, beautiful
window.
young lady, and good for her. But it's weird for me to see her like that.
Yeah, exactly. That is so funny. I've never heard anyone else bring up Girl Meets World in that context because, like, I grew up. I I'd say my era of Disney Channel was like right after the Jackson era, but now to like Hannah Montana, Sweet Life, and then right as I was getting out of the Disney phase, Girl Meets World just came on,
Yeah.
and so like my dad, he like kind of like was like, hey, let's watch this Girl Meets World show because he was a big Boy Meets World fan, and so we watched it, and then I was like, next thing I knew, I was like 15 years old, still watching Disney, and then I'm like, you know what? I'll never stop watching Disney.
Yeah.
As a grown man, just in my house, still watch Disney every once in a while.
I'm in. I'm in. At least I could use kids as an excuse.
Yeah, I can't. Okay, now video games. What are some video games that you love playing? Because me and you don't really talk about video games a whole lot. Now I've asked you if you've played Resident Evil 9, but you still haven't told me if you have or not yet. So still haven't, huh?
It's not that I don't want to. One, it's just I'm super busy. Like, the only times I really get the chance to play video games now are when my daughter and I do Sledgehammer gaming, and like we
Y'all
already
are
got a
like knee
schedule of
deep
what we're
in a
gonna do.
series.
Yeah. So like I'm really actually intimidated to start it just because I don't have a lot of time right now and I know that I'm gonna be staying up way too late, to play this game. But I've had to do my top five favorite video games of all time. Kingdom Hearts 2 would be on there. Zelda Ocarina of Time would be on there. I would say Silent Hill 4 The Room would be on there. I mean, it'd be a toss up between the OG Resident Evil and the remake, or the part two, the original PlayStation ones. I haven't played the remakes of either one of them. And then after that, like, I mean, like, I'm old school, man. Like, I love Contra. Contra would be on there. Castlevania. If we're talking like just strictly like newer shit, I loved the Evil Dead games. I really loved the Left 4 Dead games. Like me and my son had so much fun playing those Left 4 Dead games when they first came out. Yeah, it would probably be Kingdom Hearts 2. I think would probably be my favorite of all time. Love the Kingdom Heart franchise.
I've read the
Again, you
books. I
talk about
never.
you talk about like Disney. Like you're Sora, you're with Donald and Goofy, and you're going through all these different worlds. It's so much fun. But I started playing those as a kid, and I just never stopped. I was one of those guys that had to get all the XP and all the extra bonuses.
Trophy
So yeah,
hunting for trophies were a thing.
yes, man. So yeah, that was, and then obviously I love sports games. I love football games. I used to love playing Madden as a kid. Blitz, loved Mortal Kombat. But if we're talking like horror games, Silent Hill 4 The Room is number one. Like that's my favorite horror game of all time. Favorite video game of all time. It's either gonna be Kingdom Hearts or Zelda Ocarina of Time. Like it's gonna be one of those two.
From what you've said, probably Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
My favorite. I've talked about it numerous times now, but like I've played. I grew up playing like Mario and stuff. I've played probably all of them. I've played every Grand Theft Auto, Saints Row, Dead Island, but those aren't narrative games. Those are games that you just kind of dive in and dive out.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I but didn't play them a whole lot. So, I'd say the game. Well, what got me into gaming was actually last year. I played my first full game, start to finish, and didn't stop, and that was The Last of Us. I
Nice.
played that for the very first time last year. Got obsessed. I've never had a video game grab me like that. It's probably the best story I've ever heard on any media ever, no matter what you're talking
Mm-hmm.
about. And The Last of Us 2, just as good. And I've been craving that experience. And Resident Evil Requiem gave me that experience. I have played so many games now looking for that experience of what I got playing The Last of Us 1, and Resident Evil Requiem gave me that. Not to overhype it, but it legit is such a great game. And I think it helps if like my girlfriend, she gets into it too.
Sure.
And she admittedly, I sucked at Requiem at first. I got stuck in the care center and could not get out. And then she grabbed the remote and manhandled me, sat me down, and she started running through that damn game. She did great. I was like, here, you handle the bosses, I'll do the puzzles. Um,
Right, right.
and so that's what we did, and it was really fun. But yeah, that I love that game. Now to dive a little, we don't have to get sensitive or anything, but what are some negative influences that have had on your life that maybe you've even had positive outcomes? Like, for example, my mom, when I was younger, was a pretty big negative influence, and so was the guys that she put around me were negative influences between substance abuse and all this other things. Now, fortunately, my mom's out of all that. She's doing so much better. Me and her actually have a good relationship now. But that was a negative influence, and I've taken that negative influence and spun it positive, and I've learned positive lessons from it. So, that being said, whether it has to do with how to be a friend, how to be a father, how to be a role model yourself to, others or young up and comers, what are some negative influences that have helped you in a positive way? If you want to talk about anything.
Yeah, yeah. I'm always an open book. My dad, um, growing up, he did time, and then when he got out, he had a new family, and we were kind of like every other weekend kids. It felt like to us, and I really learned like he wasn't showing up to things that he should show up to. And again, me and him are on good terms now. I talked to him, but then it wasn't a good relationship growing up. Always loved him, he always will, but that was a big one for me. I learned that I would never ever miss anything my kids did. Never. Even if I don't enjoy it, even if I don't understand it, it doesn't matter how I feel, it's about them. So that would be a big one. Besides that, I'm pretty lucky, man. I've always tried to surround myself with positive people. Um, yeah, I went down a rabbit hole of drugs and alcohol, but I can't blame anybody but myself. I was around people doing things, but I'm the one that said yes. I'm the one
Right.
that did it. So I can't push the blame on that. It's not my dad's fault I did drugs. It's not the guy that had it for the first time that handed it to me's fault. It's my fault. I did it. I'm an addict. I still am to this day. I don't think I'll ever not be. That's why I'm not around it. I
Exactly.
haven't done anything in 18 years since my son was born. I still know I'm not strong enough to be around certain things. So I can't say no. I'm not strong enough. I get it. But that goes back to the influence my wife and kids have on me. So you could take every negative influence that you have and you can spin it positive. The negative influence of my dad growing up and how he wasn't there as much as I would have liked to have been has made me a better dad and friend because I'm there all the time for the people that need me when they need me. I'm probably the guy that says I love you way more than he should. I try to let people know what they mean to me, and that
Right.
was the influence of my mom. So, yeah, I always try to take the positive out of every negative, and especially with a situation like that, if I had had my dad my whole life, maybe I wouldn't be as appreciative as I am now. So that would be the long-winded answer, because I don't want it to sound like I'm shitting on him. Like we have a good
No, I get
relationship
it. I
now,
get it,
you
dude.
know.
Yeah, like that's
But
that's that's
as a
why.
kid, like there was a lot of stuff that I wanted him to be there for me for, and he wasn't. So
Yeah.
that made me at the time devastated. Now it's made me be like, I'm never gonna miss a thing that my
Yeah.
kids are a part of.
Yeah, that's a very positive spin and outcome on a negative situation. That's exactly what that's not that that's not what I like to hear, but it's what I like to hear. I'd like to hear someone who was I hate to hear that you had that negative influence, that negative impact, but I love to hear that you succeeded in making a positive thing out of it, especially if it was for someone else, like your kids, if it was for the betterment
Right.
of your kids. And that also, and it's not a selfish thing, it's a very selfless thing of doing that for them, but there is a selfish input in that also makes you feel better. You're healing yourself
Right.
by
Being there
helping
for them.
them. Yeah,
Yes.
and that's a very beautiful
100%.
thing. I love that. That's exactly what I want to hear. If there's going to be anything, I'd rather hear you spun it that positively. Well, I mean, what do you got going on right now?
Um, we got a lot of my first horror movies coming up in the next couple weeks, obviously. Also have by the time this is released, it might already be out. We did a top 10. Me and Ashley each did our own scary moments from non-horror movies. A good friend of ours, Nicole of the Damned, edited those for us. She asked if it would be okay to do some editing for us, just to try it out and try her hand at it and see how she did. And I thought she did absolutely phenomenal. So she did all the editing on those. So all love goes out to Nicole of the Damned. And like I said, always doing live episodes, always doing top 10 stuff like that. So if you haven't, just make sure you go over and subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you guys as part
Absolutely.
of the community.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely going to be having that. All of your stuff and our stuff in the description below. So everyone go check that out and go subscribe. We are going to be doing a Dead Silence reaction. You've invited me. That made me really
Hmm.
happy. I was gonna buy the steelbook, but the steelbook was like $40. I said, "Ooh, no, sorry, can't do that. If I could not justify but buying fucking Rudderless for $66, I'm not buying Dead Silence for 40. Okay,
Right.
uh, $8 on Amazon, perfect.
That's
Um,
awesome.
but yeah, I'm really excited to watch that. When was the first time you watched Dead Silence?
Oh man, we were at my. Funny enough, my dad was going on a vacation, and he asked Ashley and I if we could come out and watch the house. And so Ashley and I went and we watched his house, and we had bought Dead Silence and taken it with us. And it just, I loved that movie, but it scared the living shit out of me the first time I watched it. This movie is one of those movies that fell victim to the worst marketing ever.
Yep.
Like the marketing of this movie, I thought it was like a Night of the Living Dummy Goosebumps thing from watching the marketing, the trailers and shit. And oh my gosh, if you guys haven't seen Dead Silence, and I get a lot of shit for this
I think
as
James
a
Wan's the best
whole.
movie.
As a whole, I think it's better than Saw. Um, the twist in Saw obviously is one of the best of all time. No one can deny the greatness to the twist of Saw. But as a whole movie, Dead Silence way over Saw.
Yep. Well, I spoke heavy hyperbole just a second ago. I don't think it's his best movie. I think it's his third best. I think I do prefer Insidious over in Dead Silence, and I prefer The Conjuring, the first one. But you know what? The first two over.
Mhm.
But besides that, I just like you said, also I think it's the one that failed due to bad marketing. Just like in
Yeah,
my opinion, one of the best movies ever made, Transformers One. It's amazing, and no one saw it, and that breaks my
it's
heart.
it's crazy how there's so many movies we could talk about how marketing killed those movies.
Let's do it,
Jennifer's
dude.
Body,
Abigail.
ruined. Abigail. A lot of people didn't even go see it because of that. Um, House of Wax, the remake. Their whole marketing
Yes.
campaign was "Come watch us kill Paris Hilton," and it's like, or how about we come watch you make a great movie?
Yeah.
Like that's what we want to see. So,
Paris
yeah,
Hilton
there's
dies
a
on her knees.
yeah, dude, and honestly, like House of Wax 2005 is a phenomenal movie with
Terrifying.
incredible practical effects. Like, oh
Yep.
my gosh, the practical effects of that movie are beyond spectacular. So, I
Oh,
mean,
100%.
there's so many great things that they could have put in there as a reason to watch that movie, not just, hey, Paris Hilton is gonna die in this movie, so come and watch it because you hate her and so do we. I'm like, cool. Like you got to do a
That's
little
so,
bit better than that for me.
that sounds like that. You ever watch South Park?
Rob Schneider.
Yeah,
It's like
Rob
that's
Schneider is the carrot.
Yeah, that's how I felt. Like when you watch the marketing of House of Wax now, it's like, we hate Paris Hilton. Come watch us kill her. You know what I mean? Like that's how I felt watching it, dude. Like I felt like that narrator would have been the perfect person to narrate House of Wax
Literally.
just for that fucking reason.
Paris Hilton is the stapler.
So funny.
Dude, that's hilarious. That's exactly.
I love the fact that you picked up on that, man.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounded like. I remember being like sixth grade, just me and my buddies going around. Ram Schneider is. Oh, that's
So
hilarious.
That's perfect. I love it.
Um, yeah, it's very unfortunate. There will be tons of sequels that could have been great sequels and great franchises that we could have gotten. But like you said, due to marketing, we'll never get them. House of Wax, Transformers 1, Abigail, even Companion.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think Companion did fairly well in the box office, it didn't do as what it should have done, and that's
Well, I think again that's a big part of the reason Companion didn't do as well is because for a lot of people, unfortunately, the twist was ruined,
but to me,
and it shouldn't matter. I agree with you. It should not matter because that's how great the movie is. But that's why I think a lot of people need to stop. And you know, I'm one of those people. I do not watch. Anybody will tell you. I don't watch any of my friends' reviews until I've watched a movie because I know that it could have an influence on what I'm going to do.
it's hard not to have your opinions influenced by others going into a movie. So I try to wait
What?
until after I've seen it, but it's so hard for me to actually go out and see a movie hardly anymore. So I'm just like, well, let me see a short reaction, a non-spoiler review or something.
Sure.
Also
So
have
that's why
spoilers.
that's why we do positive, negatives, and then spoilers. So that way, if someone does want to watch it and kind of get an idea of what they're in for without being spoiled, they can at least come and watch, the first 10 minutes of it. Did you watch Haunted Hotel?
Uh-uh.
Oh, dude, you gotta watch it, man. Like it's so fucking funny, so funny. It's
Someone.
just it's this family moves into a hotel so they can take it over because the uncle died. The uncle obviously is still there because the hotel's haunted by a bunch of ghosts. And like, dude, like some of the funny moments on there will remind you of like Futurama, The Simpsons, stuff like that. Like there's one where all the ghosts don't like the mom. And so the mom goes in to like have a meeting with the ghost and she starts talking and they all start booing. And she's like, are they booing me or trying to scare me? Like, it's like, boo. Like, oh, dude, it was so fucking funny. So like I said, there's a lot of moments in the show that are very funny, but it's a good like gateway horror show for kids. Like there's like a Chucky episode. They don't say Chucky, obviously. There's an episode with a big slasher that looks like Jason. So like each
Oh,
episode is like its own subgenre of horror.
I know what show you're talking about now. I've watched you and Ashley review it. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna have to. What's it on?
Netflix.
Netflix. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to give that a watch. That seems
Yeah,
like a fun one.
so good, dude.
I loved. I like a lot of the Netflix cartoons, like BoJack Horseman, or like what's the one with the hormone monsters?
With what?
Hormone monsters. What's that show called? With Nick Kroll.
I don't know.
What the fuck? Why am I forgetting it, dude? Oh my god. Hold on, give me 1 second. I can't
Yeah, you're
remember
good.
who was in show. Oh, Big Mouth. That's what it's called. Big Mouth.
Okay, I've heard of it, but I've never actually watched it.
Dude. Okay. Well, I wouldn't say. I mean, I don't know what you allow your kids to watch. Maybe for the youngest one, I wouldn't recommend it, but
Right.
because there's a lot of dick jokes. A lot. It's a lot of peckers in a cartoon, but it's fucking hilarious. You would absolutely love it.
All
Not
right, Big
not not
Mouth.
not for the dicks, but for
Right,
the
right,
jokes.
for that sense of humor. Right. Thanks for clarifying that, Hayden. I was wondering if.
There's a lot of dicks. Ken, you would love it.
Yeah, there's dicks everywhere, Ken. I think it's to be your favorite.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming on here. I wish I had a lot more to talk about. Unfortunately, my head's kind of scrambled right now. I'm gonna have to get up and go do this Easter thing. My girlfriend's family was sick last week, so we couldn't do it with them. So they're rescheduled it to today. So we're finna head out here in a minute and do that. But thank you so much for coming on. This was a
Uh,
pleasure.
Dude, my honor.
Absolutely
I'm
loved
so
it.
glad you asked me.
Absolutely. At some point, again, I would love to get you and Ashley on here. I love both of you. I think you're both amazing. If you haven't already, please go subscribe to their channel. All their stuff will be linked down in the description below. Go follow their Instagram, their TikTok, everything. I will have it all linked down below. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you want more of this. Please leave in the comments down below what you think and who you might would want to see on here next. I know I got my buddy Marcus Mason from that Fantasy Zone, Joshua from Eptastic Joshua coming up soon. So
Oh, dude, I love Josh.
I do too. He's a really cool guy. And my buddy over there at Sully Streams, he's probably gonna be on here pretty soon too. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. And once again, thank you so much, Ken, for coming on here. Let's do this again, man. Let's not be
I'm
strangers.
in. Until next time, guys, keep talking horror, stay
Stay
what
who
you
you
are,
are.
and we'll see you guys soon.
All right, bye, guys.